I hope my microphone's working because I want to say good morning and happy winter solstice 2025. Last night was the longest night of the year. Now, you could probably get out your astrological and astronomical timetables and argue with me that last night was the longest night of the year. But it really was. I mean, it was dark. It was dark and rainy, and it felt like the longest night of the year. And I'm going to take it as such because I need some kind of glimmer, some kind of sun ray of help that it's not going to keep getting darker. I mean, I'm wallowing in the old formula, the old dying God, dying sun formula, because it really seems like it's been a dark, shitty year. Okay, uh, but compared to a lot of other people, perhaps most other people, I have a lot to be thankful for. And but anyway, so the idea is that the sun is starting to make a comeback. Now, to the ancients that really didn't have atomic clocks and things like that, about this time of year, the sun appears to kind of not move in any direction for like 3 days because it's sort of slowing into it's the Earth's, obliquity of the Earth's axis happening here, but it appears that the sun has just sort of gone, ooh, ooh, and in those 3 days, and of course the mythologers, when examining like the Christian myth of Jesus being dead for 3 days before he rises on Sunday morning. Anyway, this for the year, this is that Sunday morning when the sun is starting to make a comeback. And it just so happens that if you've been following my Facebook page every morning to watch these, uh, you know that I put up an Advent calendar, a tarot Trump Advent calendar. Started earlier this month, and I open up a new Advent calendar window every day. And we've gotten up to the window that we opened today was the sun card. Now you may think, oh, how clever that was of Lon to time it so that the sun card came on Sunday, and Sunday was the winter solstice. Now, I plan very little in life. Okay. I just start when it was convenient for me to start and end when it's convenient for me to end. And it just freaking worked out that way. Anyway, got a couple things to share, but one of them, in my capacity as deputy to the Grand Master of Ordo Templi Orientis in the USA, I have a wonderful. I got a wonderful little message today from my boss in the OTO, Sabazis, 10th degree, United States Grand Master, Ordo Templi Orientis, and it's a solstice message. And I'm going to share it with you because couldn't have said it better myself. Okay. Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. Greetings of the December southern solstice, which is the time that the Earth's north pole reaches its maximum tilt away from the sun, and the sun is at its lowest daily maximum elevation in the northern sky. Today, Sunday, December 21st, at 3:03 p.m. UTC, the sun will be at 270 degrees ecliptic longitude and will enter the sign of Capricorn. He didn't say hold up a devil card. I'm presuming to give audio visual effects. Okay. The sun will enter the sign of Capricorn, the cardinal sign of Earth. In the continental U.S., this will occur this morning at 7:03 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And that's exactly the time we woke up this morning. For those of us on the West Coast, and 10:03 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for those on the East Coast. In the Northern Hemisphere, the December solstice is also the winter solstice, when the period of daylight has reached its shortest and the period of night has reached its longest extent of the year. I'll digress long enough to say I had the privilege of being in Brazil on the winter solstice, so I've experienced it on both hemispheres. But I digress. So I'll repeat that. Excuse me. In the Northern Hemisphere, the December solstice is also the winter solstice when the period of daylight has reached its shortest and the period of night has reached its longest extent of the year. The winter solstice thus represents the point at which the period of daylight in the diurnal cycle begins to increase. Hallelujah. Since prehistoric times, the winter solstice has been celebrated in one way or another as the return or rebirth of the light of the sun. The feast day was established in Liber L, chapter 2, verse 3. Quote, "There are rituals of the elements and feasts of the times." In his new comment, Crowley wrote the following about this passage. Quote, "Each element, fire, earth, air, water, and spirit, possess its own nature, will, and magical formula. Each one may then have its appropriate ritual. Many such in crude form are described in The Golden Bough by Dr. J.G. Fraser, The Glory of the Trinity. Crowley goes on. In particular, the entry of the sun into the cardinal signs of the elements at the equinoxes and solstices are suitable for festivals. The difference between rituals, quote, rituals and, quote, feasts, is this. By one, a particular form of energy is generated, while there is a general discharge of one's superfluous force in the other. Yet, a feast implies periodical nourishment. Love is the law, love under will. SB. Okay. So that's a nice little recap from Sabazius, 10th degree. I like that distinction between the rituals of the elements and the feasts of the times. And The Book of the Law goes on to describe a number of a feast for fire, a feast for water, a feast for life, a greater feast for death, a feast every day in your hearts. Okay? Those are itemized, but there's rituals of the elements. Now, if I'm sure you've seen it on YouTube, everybody gathered at Stonehenge and looked like they're having a fabulous chili time at Stonehenge at sunrise this morning. But if you would like to think about what would I do for in my house, I'm not around a bunch of people to take me to Stonehenge or something. And if you're a ceremonial magician, you know there's just all sorts of things that you can do that would honor those elements to have a ritual honoring those elements. But at this particular time, at this solstice, with the coming back of the sun, wouldn't it be nice to inject in your elemental ritual the importance, the central importance of the sun itself? And I was thinking on my walk this morning, while I was hoping it wouldn't rain on me again. I thought, Enochian magic has a very simple, clean, fast and dirty way to honor the sun in all those elements. And of course, this being the sun in Capricorn, cardinal Earth would be like the main character, but it's rituals of the elements, and the elements are fire, water, air, and earth, and spirit. And it just so happens that in the Enochian system of magic, there are 4 elemental tablets. And I'm going to stack them on top of each other here. There's an elemental tablet right there. Now, literally, if we're looking at things in tarot terms, all the court cards, all 16 court cards, and all 32 small cards live inside these elemental tablets. So this is the Ace of Discs here. This would be for the North and Earth. That's the elemental tablet of Earth. And you see the red square and the blue square and the yellow square and the green square. Those would be like the court cards, the 4 court cards. One for fire, water, air, and earth. Okay? King, queen, prince, princess, or knight, queen, prince, princess. But right in the middle, okay, right in the middle of each of these elemental tablets are two columns of letters and 1 row of letters. See, it's a big cross. That's a grand cross. There's 32 squares, 32 letters in each of those grand crosses. And those are the planetary seniors. And their names are read going out from the center. Out to the top, up to the top. Down from the middle, to the right, and to the left. But so those are the 6 planetary things. But the sun senior is a swirl that starts right here, right there, and goes around like, it's hard to do this because it's backwards. It goes like this. right in the center. And those are 4 solar seniors, or the planetary, or the literally the god, the sun god of each of the elements. And their names are, and there's that squiggly, that's how their names are drawn. In the east, or air, is Batavia. And in the south, or fire, Edelperna. And in the west is Raagiosil, for water. And in the north, and the pronunciation for this is try your best, because that's the best anybody else does too. Crowley in the Golden Dawn like to treat those Z's as Zuds. So it'd be Exodhekal. That's Earth, Exodhekal. Now, if I was going to do something quick and dirty before breakfast to do the rituals of the elements, no matter if you have, tarot ceremonial magic or not, just put the aces of your whatever tarot deck you're using and put the Ace of Swords for air, like in a pentagram ritual, Ace of Swords for air in your east, the east of the room, just stick it up anywhere, and the Ace of Wands in the south, and the Ace of Cups in the west, and the Ace of Discs in the north. Just do that. Just put it up. If nothing else, just tip your hat and say, thanks for letting me live and suck air in this environment. But if you really want to get into it, you can do all sorts of pentagram rituals and things like that in different areas. But to actually kick it off, to do what Crowley said, by one, meaning the ritual, a particular form of energy is generated. If you want to generate the energies of the elements, stand in the east and draw that arrow and simply say with full intent to invoke, to generate the energy of air, say Batavia, and draw that circle, that swirl with your wand or finger or incense. And then move to the south and do the same, draw the same thing. Picture the fire thing. And if you can't picture it, look at your damn ace of wands and go Edelperna. Then turn to the west, Raagiosil. Then to the north, Exodhekal. Now you can finish off on this particular date. Once you've done them all, you can return to the north and sit down for a moment and repeat your swirl and repeat your Exodhekal. And there do your impromptu adoration for the ritual of the element of the summer solstice. Excuse me, of the winter solstice. In other tarot-related things, remember me saying, thank God this is over. I hope this whole thing, bring it into this darkness. Well, in the court card, in the elemental world, in that world between 20 degrees Sagittarius and 20 degrees Capricorn, which ends way up in January 9th, in less than 2 weeks. The ruler is the Queen of Discs. She rules this whole 30-degree period that we're in right now. But within those 30 degrees are three small cards that represent the decans, the three decans within. And the Ten of Wands, this miserable Ten of Wands, oppression. It's got jail cell bars there. Ends today. Now, if we're following the energy down the tree of life, and we start at the very top of the four trees of life for fire, water, air, and earth, the Ten of Wands, there's no further way to go down in the world of wands. When you go down, you drip yourself into the top of the next world. In other words, in a way, after this Ten of Wands oppression, if you can just relax and get the fuck out of the world of wands for a minute, you drip right into the Holy Grail itself. I have to take comfort in that. Be that as it may, I'm going to read you what DuQuette has to say. Don't worry, it's just a paragraph. In the Tarot Architect. What he has to say when it's time for you to make your own Ten of Wands, or Ten of Discs. Excuse me, Ten of Wands. Let me get it to it. Well, I just talk about the fact that it's Saturn in Sagittarius, and bring up the fact that we've got two Goetic spirits and two angels of the Shemhamferish that characterize. If you need any other particular help as far as rituals of the elements and feasts of the times, they might be brought into the mix of your rituals of the elements. Anyway, not everybody is an Enochian magician, and not everybody's even interested in it. But in the same way that the Kabbalistic names of the archangels, angels, the divine names for each of the letters of Yod, He, Vav, He. Like, let's see, here's the ace. Okay, here's the Ace of Discs. I got all sorts of toys here. Okay. There's our Ace of Discs. And Edelperna is a perfectly good name for the god, the sun god of the Ace of Discs, or Capricorn. There's the Ace of Discs. There's the four court cards within the Ace of Discs. The Knight, the Queen, the Prince, and the Princess. And inside are the 9 small cards. There's their names. Okay. And here's the world. the material world, in a sea of the impurities produced by the degeneration of the light as it passes through the various worlds, are crystallized to form the material world and human existence. The part of the human soul corresponding to Aseya is Nephesh, the animal soul. And there's one of those for every card. How much would you pay for a book like this? Don't answer. That's it. I encourage you on this day when the sun is trying to make it back, to do yourself a little ritual of the elements. If you don't have time to do all four, just do Earth. Just turn north if you're in the northern hemisphere. And write up your own little ceremony. If you don't want to write it up, just make it up spontaneously. The best magic ceremonies are the ones that come out of you, not the ones you get out of a book. The ones you get out of a book are just suggestive, ultimately are just suggestive of the forces and the in this case, the elements that you're working with. And they may be wise, they may be beautiful, but they're just suggestive of the ritual that you devise, execute, and generate on your own. That's it. Have a great rest of your winter solstice day. Why don't you just be happy that the sun's coming back and stay that way for the rest of the year. Just hold on to that. Ground yourself in that. Just get that Capricorn Devil card and just ground yourself. It may be the only anchor you'll need in the coming adventures of the new year. Until tomorrow and the order of Monday morning, I'll see you tomorrow. Continue to be good to yourself. Be good to each other. Do what thou wilt, shall be the whole of the law. Love is the law. Love under will.